Morning all, it's Postbag! Now these two I think are related. We have pad and chargers and sync cables. So let's open the small one first. So giving away my secrets now, but this one I need to make sure I don't cut through wires. So I've got my big torch behind it and I'm just checking where to cut. So I think along that edge there. Okay, so this is interesting. It's a circuit board and a coil of wire. So I've connected the PCB to a power bank and I'm going to switch that on. That goes through a little boot up sequence. Okay, so we had a brief flash on the green light and now the red light is on. And I should explain what this is. This is a QI wireless charging pad for QI compatible devices. Now my Nexus 4, which I'll lift off its perch, is theoretically QI charging compatible. So if I bring the pad up to the back of this phone, what happens? Well, nothing at the moment. Well, I have now got it to work. Both the green and red LEDs are on. It's pressed right up against the back of the Nexus 4 phone. I had to unplug the charge cable, which was in, so obviously that was making it charge from USB. I also had to take the case off my phone, and it's quite fussy about position. If I move it slightly, then that goes off. Move it back across the surface of the phone and it goes back on. Now while I'm filming I can't see the little charge icon, but I can see it when I'm not filming. And if I move it a bit further across, it goes off again. So it's fairly fussy about position, but it does appear to work. Good. So here's the item on eBay. Now there are quite a few of these things which are properly boxed and packaged. They're a bit more expensive than this, and that's why I went for this, because it's cheap. So this is the QI wireless charger circuit board with charging pad for Nokia and all the other phones. Now it says that it's used, so I don't know whether this has been taken out of wireless charging pads. £1.99, 39p postage, so that's what, £2.38, and this came from Zybing 2010. Now I should probably point out that this wasn't actually my idea. This idea came from Harry Taylor. Hi Julian, just a little suggestion for your Arduino wearable project. What about integrating a QI wireless charge receiver? So thanks Harry for the idea. He says, big fan of the channel, keep up the great work. Cheers! Now one other thing I've noticed is that this only seems to charge if I have it this way round with the coil facing the phone. If I put it this way round, I'm not sure what this is, plastic I think. It could be metal, but it doesn't seem to go through that black thing. So I have to turn it this way around. And then I can get it to charge if it's in the right position. Now the chip on here is a CMC Tech CE81A. But unfortunately a search through Google returns nothing at all. All of this stuff's completely unrelated, so can't find a datasheet for that one. So while I've got this on, let's open this second package. And this is the other half. This is the wireless charger accept. It says it's for a Samsung Note 2, but the pins on here say 5 volt and ground. Now the idea is you would normally shove this in the back of the phone, and there are some pads inside the phone which these press against. But I'm probably going to solder to these and try and get this rated output of 600 to 1000 milliamps. So first things first, let's just drop this on top of this coil. Oh yeah, there we go, green lights come on. So that does seem to be transferring power to this receiver. Now this receiver is interesting. If I catch it in the light, you can see there's an oval shape here, which is obviously the coil, but also down at the bottom end here, you can see that there are some components. So there is a little bit of electronics in here. So where's that coil again? It's up at the top part. Drop that over there, and that lights up. Well, let's see if we've got 5 volts on those pins. So yes, the green light's not on. Move that around, try and get the green light to come on the transmitter, but the receiver's receiving 4.98, and I think that must be regulated. So that's dropped off when I come away from there. I actually have the green light on the transmitter now, 4.98. Yeah, so that seems to work even when the transmitter says it hasn't got a proper linkage. How far up can I come? It's about 1 centimetre, and I'm still getting 5 volts, so that's not too bad. And I can drift away, and I'm still getting 5 volts. That green light does seem a bit temperamental, but probably overly so, because the 5 volt transfer seems quite reliable. Interesting. So the idea was that this would be usable to charge my wearable device project. So here's the wearable device. Now you can see immediately that there's a bit of an issue with size. This thing is rather too large to fit in the footprint of the wearable, which is just this top bit, because the display is going to fold back. But it is possible you could get smaller ones of these. I'll have to have a look at that. So that's tacked on to the 5 volts and 0 volts where the USB input socket is. And now let's try getting some power over into the wearable. Now, I was playing with this a moment ago, and it wouldn't work this way round. It just wouldn't transfer. Oh, it has now. But there's no red light on the wearable. But if I put the transmitter pad down onto the surface of this, then it works fine. You can see the red light has come on the wearable. You can just see it reflecting off the battery there. The green light is on the transmitter, although it's flaky as usual. Let me try and get this set up a bit better. So yeah, I've got quite a reliable connection, power connection through the transmitter and receiver. The red light on the wearable is quite reliable. I have to come quite a way out for that to dim down and start becoming intermittent. But the green light on the transmitter is a bit flaky. It doesn't seem to always want to come on. Sometimes it does come on, sometimes it doesn't, even when we're getting a good transfer of charge. So maybe that's set up a little bit too sensitive. I don't know, but it does work. And that's charging the wearable. Now, if that battery's received a little bit of charge, I should be able to switch this thing on by plugging in this cable here. Let's do that. So that's working, that's fine. Again, no green light on here, but we are getting power transferred. The LiPo is now saying that it has 2% charge. Oh, that's good. It's just gone up to 2.1, so that shows that it is absorbing charge. So I think this is a good idea. It does seem to work. Maybe the transmitter's not ideal, or certainly the feedback from it isn't ideal, but that's pretty good. I just need to look to see if I can find a smaller one of these receiver pads. So on eBay, the receiver pad was this one, and it's described as new QI 5 volt wireless charger acceptor receiver, £2.92, free postage, and that came from Befty. Right, well now we have one from Amazon. Generally speaking, I like things from Amazon. What's this? ThruNite. So this is the ThruNite TN12, and it's a flashlight, or a torch as we call it in the UK. Now they've also sent me 2 ThruNite branded 18650 protected cells, because this is an 18650 torch. Okay, let's have a look inside this box. So here's the torch, the flashlight. No, I'm going to call it a torch. That's what we call them. And that's rather nice, isn't it? The ThruNite TN12 2014 version. This is an upgraded version of their previous TN12 model. So click switch on the end there, and a little push button there to set the modes. So let's get a battery in this thing. Now these cells say 18650, 3400 milliamp hours, 3.7 volt lithium ion, rechargeable battery with re and dis charging protection circuit. And they do have the protection circuit. You can see the little indentation at the bottom of the pack. The pack is longer than a standard cell, and also you can just about make out the metal strip, or an impression of it, running down the side of the plastic cover. So let's put this into the torch. Now this torch comes apart in two places, but I'm going to take it apart here. I'll just stop and restart so that my camera has focused. Okay. So that's the inside of there. That's the actually, I'll just undo this other half so you can see that this center section is just a tube, and then we've got the connector on the base there and the connector on the top. So let's put that back on. Put the cell in. Now it does say that the torch is protected against incorrect polarity of the cell, but I'm not going to test that. Perhaps I will when I do my full review. And then let's put the top on and switch on. Now that is extremely dim, and that's because this is in Firefly mode, and Firefly mode is ultra dim mode, but the battery lasts ages. Let's have a look at the manual. So here it is, look, versatile mode at 1050 lumens. Now that's a lot. It runs for 90 minutes, 800 lumens 1.5 hours, 280 lumens 5 hours, 20 lumens that is, 20 lumens 74 hours, and this is the Firefly mode, 0.3 lumens for 1585 hours. Wow. Now I'm just thinking that perhaps the best way to show each of the different brightness settings on this torch is to shine it through the back of this manual and see how the camera reacts. So that's the Firefly mode, that's low, that's medium, that's high, and that's whatever the highest one is, superpower max I think it's called. Now if I go back to Firefly, you can see how long it takes the camera to recover. It's very difficult to show how bright a flashlight is on camera. Let's just do it again on my hand. Low, medium, high, max. And back to Firefly. This is a very bright torch. When I do my full review, I'll take it outside at night, compare it with another flashlight. But this is very nice. I'm very pleased with this. This is my first 18650 torch. All my others are AA cells. And that's today's Postbag.